Ruslan.
After the Fauci email leak came out, I made it a point on Instagram to share how I don't think all the outrage was warranted. Now, what am I talking about? Fauci's emails linked about the pandemic, about knowing that there was potential gain of function research happening from some of the funds that he was affiliated with, kind of flopping on masks, and all kinds of other stuff. And I just said, listen, people shouldn't be outraged. I didn't find anything new here. I did want to highlight something that I think, as I'm reevaluating my own perspective and where I get my news from and where I get my media from, I realize that so many people consume their news from mainstream news outlets. So they're hearing two opposite stories on CNN or Fox, meaning that CNN is like, hey, Fauci, there's nothing to see here. Look the other way, right? Let's look at something else. And Fox is like making this big indictment and he should be fired and this whole thing. And I thought, why am I just not so radicalized? Right? Why am I not so angry or outraged about these Fauci emails? And I realize it's because I get my media, or specifically my news, from independent media. What am I talking about? I was watching The Hill, specifically Krystal and Saagar on The Hill, and that's where I was consuming my media from. So all of this stuff with Fauci, I've been heard about. This is old news to me. I've been tapped in with all this stuff. That is my paradigm and my perspective. I want to challenge you guys. Where are you guys getting your information from, right? Because news, clicks, media, the vast majority of that wins and benefits by creating outrage, by making people more and more polarized, by having a us versus them mentality. And this is true across the board, whether it's CNN, MSNBC, everybody's trying to make the other side look crazy. Everybody's trying to dunk on the other side. And so recently, The Hill was where I was getting my news source from. Saagar and Krystal left The Hill and are starting their own Breaking Points YouTube channel. Why is this important? Well, because this is now going to be completely independent. The Hill wasn't independent. The Hill was owned by a friend of Donald Trump's. So even though Krystal and Saagar built that channel up from 5,000 to 1.3 million subscribers in 2 years, which is insane, by the way, kudos to them, it isn't completely independent. So now they've established their own YouTube channel, Breaking Points. What that means is that they're going to be completely crowdfunded. I'm going to be pitching in and signing up so that I could help fund this for them, because I think news and media from unbiased sources is important, because the majority of what you're going to consume on social media, the majority of what you're going to consume in terms of the type of stuff you're watching is going to be things that reaffirm your own bias. So you stay locked into this echo chamber and you think that only you are getting this information, and then when people don't get the same information, they're getting the opposite information, you're outraged at them, they're outraged at you. You don't really end up loving your neighbor very well. The dope part about Krystal and Saagar is it's going to be on YouTube. The channel grew by 100,000 subscribers in like 3 days, which is crazy. And this is their little press release. Krystal and Saagar, Breaking Points, a fearless anti-establishment YouTube show and podcast debuting Monday, June 7th. They dropped their first episode today. CNN, Fox News, MSNBC are ripping us apart and making millions of dollars doing it. We don't have soulless billionaires or corporations backing our high-end TV productions, but we do have you. We took a big risk going independent, and we need your help to fulfill our mission of making everyone hate each other less and the corrupt ruling class more. The cool part about this is it's also, Krystal, it leans left. She's on the left end of the spectrum, you know, the Democrat, liberal, and Saagar leans right, and he's on the right end of the spectrum, Republican side. So you're going to get some type of balance from this entire perspective. I'm hoping that this entire process is something that works, that this model is what works, because my opinion, this is just my opinion, I think millennials, but specifically Gen Z, are sick and tired of the polarization. I think people are done with always being pushed into a corner to hate one side and think their side is the right side and never see any nuance in any of these situations. And I think as a follower of Jesus, if you're pushed in a corner and you have these strong political ideologies that define your identity, a lot of times more so than Jesus, I think it's unhealthy. And I think it could be very problematic when Jesus said, hey, the most important command is to love God with all your heart, your soul, and the second is like it, almost equal to it, which is to love your neighbor as yourself. Paul said that the entire law, all the prophets, all the laws, everything is summed up in loving your neighbor as yourself. It's very difficult to love your neighbor as yourself if you think your neighbor hates you and wants to kill you. Right? If you think people who disagree with you politically, if you think people who disagree with you on the other end of the spectrum want to kill you, think you're crazy, think you're whatever, right? Whatever extreme. On one extreme, the worst possible thing you could be is a fascist racist. On the other end of the extreme, the worst possible thing you could be is a Marxist communist. And you got these two rather outlandish extremes yelling at each other, and no one's really coming together to work on the issues. And you know who wins? Mainstream media. You know who wins? The advertisers. You know who wins? The people who keep you outraged at each other, and it's not helpful. So I'm excited that Breaking Points is a thing. It launched today. I'm going to be supporting them, and I hope you guys check them out as well. Again, the YouTube channel just launched. Gosh, they're already at 208,000 subscribers. 208,000 subscribers. A couple videos already out, and they're going to be, you know, I feel like they call it pretty down the middle. This is about the Fauci email cover-ups. They're talking about Facebook, idiotic Trump suspension until 2023, crystal ball groundbreaking study, right? So they're gonna cover a pretty fair, pretty down the middle, and so I'm excited for them. I think it's a really good time to be a content creator, because if you could find a tribe, they will support you. They will they will get behind what you're doing, and I'm definitely rocking with what they're doing. Again, I don't agree with everything they all say, but I definitely don't agree with Fox News be preaching all the time, and I definitely don't agree with MSNBC and CNN be preaching all the time. So I think this is going to be a good thing for Krystal and Saagar. And a lot of people don't know. That's crazy to me. I mean, yo, the fact that they grew by 200,000 subscribers in 6 days. That's when their first video went up, Trutha. 6 days ago, it has 269,000 views, and there are 208,000 subscribers in 6 days. This could potentially literally be another alternative to how people receive their news, and there could be multiple versions of this where people are just trying to call it down the middle. Joe Rogan is kind of like the meathead version of this, if you will, right? But if this is something that we could all consume and relatively digest in a simple format, and then watch the long form format, which I'll probably be watching long form format, I think it's going to be healthy for a lot of our mental health, and I think it's going to be healthy for a lot of us interacting with people day to day who we may disagree with politically, however, not being outraged and angry and hating them. So those are my thoughts on it. I want to hear from you guys. Do you guys see the opportunity in terms of the new media and the new way that news can be out there by people directly supporting what they're doing? And by the way, a lot of you guys may or may not know this. This channel is supported by you guys. Patreon community partners with what we're doing here by giving a monthly contribution. There's channel members. So a lot of what you guys seeing here is funded by you, the people, right? The chat, the production, the TikTok and IG Reels videos that we're pumping out, it's been crowdfunded, and it's allowed me to grow this channel to a place I didn't imagine it would be in such a short window of time, because there was a infrastructure and a couple hundred people really rocking with what we're doing. So I think it's an awesome time to be a content creator. What do you guys think?
Kingstream Entertainment. Ruslan.
Hey, thank you so much for making it till the end of this video. If you found it valuable, please consider giving it a like and subscribing. You can check out one of the other videos related to this that'll be over here. Now, I gotta tell you about a free training I have for anyone that is an entrepreneur, a creative, an artist, but maybe you are unsure on how to find your voice, how to find your niche. I have a free training in the description of this video. Check it out. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you on the next video.